to be very efficient and proactive in managing government communication. So national government also requires of the ministry to emphasize on the collection of the regulatory fees. Even though we are not a revenue generating entity, but that falls within the ambit of the ministry to collect our fees. It will help to buttress the effort of the LRA and the Ministry of Finance in realizing the projected revenue in the national budget. And so we want to add our voice to the Director of Communication by calling on media owners to please take note and act accordingly. That being said, we have a full house today, and a lot is happening for all of the country. When you look on the international stage, Liberia is making inroads. On the local scene, development is unfolding. Very tremendous contribution in our respective sectors. We talk about corruption every time. We emphasize it. We have called on the courts to expedite some of the cases that are before them. But there are people who are leading the fight against corruption. You already know that the president renewed the mandate of the Asset and Property Retrieval Tax Force, ARRE. So Councillor Ellery Clamartin has been very energetic, very committed. He and his team, they have secured some indictment from the court, but they're moving internationally. And so he's here today to start the year by informing you as far as asset recovery and property retrieval is concerned. And I have no doubt, with the commitment of the Martin team, the fight will be accomplished. Those who use public offices to acquire unexplained wealth in relatively short period of time will have to answer for that action. Regardless of everything they're doing to unwind it, the president is committed, the government is committed, and the people entrusted by the president to head the asset recovery are committed in leading that fight. So we want to welcome Councillor Martin, the Ministry of Information, who is somebody who needs no introduction. He's been here one more time. We also have Councillor Gerald Bangalo, who is the Minister of Youth and Sports. The National County Sports Meet is ongoing, and I'm sure some of you are aware that your counties have been eliminated. My own county one was eliminated. I don't know why the county is still there. So we are now focused on the next phase of the National County Sports Meet. And so Minister Councillor Bangalo is here to provide you an update on the tournament. And then after all the presentation, we'll entertain questions from you. But of course, to get started, I want you to please give me your own divided attention as I now invite the official mouthpiece of the government of Liberia to the microphone.
I'd like to add my voice in welcoming the two distinguished councillors. And I was just telling them when they were being interviewed that maybe I need a good also. the one leader and call me Councillor. But I'd like to welcome them to Piah. And probably maybe I need to run for a little bit of speed so that the two distinguished individuals can have sufficient time to do what they come here to do. Liberia is moving towards its first post-war infrastructure conference, which will consider a holistic review of how we develop our infrastructure programs. They will also review things that we've been doing in the past, carve a new approach towards infrastructure development, considering roads, airports, seaports, energy infrastructure, public buildings, etc. Some 15 international guests will attend, and the conference will run from January 19th to the 23rd in the commercial city of Ganta, Nima County. The Minister of Works from the Republic of Ghana will be a keynote speaker. Also, after a period of data collection and evaluation of the technical, environmental, economic, financial feasibility for the construction of the 90-kilometer road from Broadville to Bakulu, connecting Monrovia Further with the Western region, the Ministry of Public Works has, as of January 13, 2026, received and accepted a feasibility study report and drawings carried out by Asian E and C of South Korea. The initiative was funded 100% by the International Contractors Association of Korea. And now, with the results of the feasibility studies being made available, the next step for the Monrovia to Bokulu corridor involves mobilizing further resources for construction work at an estimated cost of $134 million USD. Still with the Ministry of Public Works, the process of delivering the yellow machines to Liberia has started. This was a point of inquiry at every press conference we held here. The journalists asking whether we still have yellow machines and the coming, etc., etc. The cost of the machines is put at $21.64 million. And by this investment, the government aims to revolutionize the country's infrastructure program, with particular emphasis on roadworks in various categories. 25% of this amount has already been paid, the source being the road fund. The remainder 75%, which is around 16.8 million, will be paid in 2 years, and the source of that funding will be a loan arrangement with the new BA bank. The nearly 300 different categories of yellow machines will be accompanied by 20 brand new pickups given free of charge, no cost to the country. 2 40-foot containers of spare parts also given free of charge for the yellow machines, and 2 40-foot containers of spare parts for the rest of the equipment. Also part of the package would be the deployment of technical people who will be stationed in Liberia for 2 years to both service the machines and train those who will take over from them after the 2 years. By the 20th or thereabout of January, it is expected that all the machines would have been loaded at different ports in China and in different categories of vessels. One set of the machines will be loaded in what is referred to as the roll vessel, and that's the kind of vessel that allows the machine to just drive through a path. While another set of vessels that require the equipment to be placed in container will take care of the rest. It will require 45 days for the machines to arrive after takeoff. But we've chosen to give ourselves space and leverage. So as a government, we have estimated that the machines should arrive within a period of 70 days. This decision gives a projected arrival period of March 30th, 2026. There will be 19 different locations for the machines, because there will also be 19 sets. Bon, Lofa, Bassa, and Nimba will receive 2 sets each. The rest of the counties will receive 1 set each. And if you are wondering why Monserrate as the biggest county, and why Guinea also a Lobbying county will get 1 each, that is because extensive roadworks that involves pavement are being undertaken in the 2 counties. So the portion of rural Monserrate that will require the machines are not as challenging as the case is in the rest of the counties, and therefore we believe that the 1 set for those counties will be okay. The Vice President, who's been overseeing the efforts to get the machines here, he and his committee have made some recommendations to the government. Based on those recommendations, it is expected that we could start the deployment of the machines by April. And we are proposing that by April 6th and 7th, the machines can be deployed in Western Liberia. April 10, 8 and 10, between the deployment can take place in Margibi, in Bassa, and Rivers. They are also proposing that it should be around this time that the President should commence his country tour, which will enable him to make a formal presentation of those machines to the various counties. And the deployment in the rest of the locations will follow in due course. Some of the things we expect among those machines will include bulldozers, excavators, low-bed trailer fuel tankers, water tanks, service trucks, utility pickups, compressor machines, etc., etc. So we believe that this information will lead to, or should lead to rest all your long-standing concerns about the jail machines. And as it was announced by the President, it is expected that the deployment of build bridges will follow. Also, we look forward to the loading and subsequent arrival of the agricultural machineries that should also be in the country from the People's Republic of China. The government of Liberia and the People's Republic of China have signed a 100 million RMB development cooperation agreement, reaffirming their shared commitment to deepening bilateral relations and advancing Liberia's national development priorities. The agreement, which was signed on Friday, 9th January 2026 at the Foreign Ministry in Monrovia, aims to strengthen cooperation between Liberia and China through the implementation of jointly agreed development projects designed to promote peace, stability, prosperity, and sustainable development in Liberia. Signing on behalf of the People's Republic of Liberia, China's ambassador to Liberia expressed strong satisfaction with the agreement and underscored its strategic importance to the evolving China-Liberia partnership. The ambassador explained that the new agreement will be aligned with Liberia national development frameworks, including President Waka's arrest agenda, and will prioritize projects that benefit ordinary citizens, strengthen development foundation, and create long-term value. He expressed confidence that the agreement will inject new momentum into Liberia's development efforts and improve the livelihood of the Liberian people. Sarah Vesco Yanti, Your Excellency, who signed on behalf of the government of Liberia, conveyed a profound gratitude of President Waka and the people of Liberia to the government and people of China for their continued partnership and support. The foreign minister described the agreement as both timely and essential, emphasizing its significance in strengthening existing ties and accelerating Liberia's economic and social development. We'll be updating you on what different sectors are doing. We want to focus on a few today. In 2025, the Liberia Airport Authority, the LAA, undertook a series of strategic initiatives focused on strengthening airport security and safety, elevating customer service, and reinforcing transparency and accountability. These concerted efforts have restored operational reliability, improved passenger confidence, and aligned Liberia's airports with international aviation standards, positioning the sector to better support national development and regional integration. On security and aviation safety, a comprehensive security reform, LAA, introduced new operational guidelines to clarify the structure and functioning of the airport security system. A thorough restructuring of the security personnel was implemented to maximize professionalism and deploy manpower more effectively. Close cooperation with the Liberian National Police for strengthening security coordination, and emergency response capabilities. The restoration of critical infrastructure. Major infrastructure upgrades were completed by the airport, notably the repair and reopening of the taxiway Bravo after nearly 2 years of closure, which has improved aircraft movement and reduced operational delays. The rehabilitation of the apron sinking pavement has enabled safer aircraft parking and facilitated full use of the jet bridges, which were also repaired to enhance both safety and passengers' comfort. Modernization of the navigational and screening systems. Installation of a new navigational aid system commenced, advancing compliance with archive standards and supporting safer, more reliable flight operations. Security screening equipment, including X-ray machines, were upgraded to further protect passengers and their assets. Wildlife and perimeter safety initiative. The Liberia Airport Authority engaged local communities in wildlife management and waste reduction to decrease bird strike rates. Repairs and landscaping along the airport perimeters were carried out to foster security and meet international standards. Staff training and equipment upgrades. Critical training programs were delivered to wildlife management, aviation safety, security, and fire and rescue services. The replacement of instrument landing system was initiated, ensuring safer landings, particularly during adverse weather conditions. Customer service and operational efficiency. Enhanced passenger experience. Targeted facilitation measures and infrastructure improvements were introduced to streamline passengers' flow, reduce congestion, and elevate the overall airport experience. Expanded air connectivity. A number of flights within Africa and the region increased, with airlines such as Ethiopia Airlines and Peace Air or Air Peace expanding their services. These developments have strengthened Liberia's regional connectivity and accessibility for trade, for travel, and for tourism. Human resource reform and staff welfare. A comprehensive audit was conducted to verify the credentials and payroll records, streamline the payroll management, and ensuring accuracy. Salary schedules are regularized, restoring predictability and reliability in staff compensation. The introduction of staff buses in partnership with the National Transit Authority improved employees' commuting. A standardized busing policy was also established to ensure fairness and transparency in staff accommodation. Transparency, accountability, and governance. The LA initiated a comprehensive institutional audit to clarify its financial position and identify areas of improvement. These efforts, together with ongoing HR and payroll verification, have fostered a culture of transparency, responsible financial management, and adherence to public sector governance standards. In conclusion, the achievements for 2025 underscore the Liberia Airport Authority's commitment to strengthening security, improving service delivery, and enhancing governance. These accomplishments have not only improved the operational and safety standards of Liberia's airport, but they've laid solid foundation for future growth, increased airline traffic, competitive airfare, socio-economic development. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Under the Save the Future project, 13,599 children have been removed from the streets and beautified with families. 4,110 of these previously of school children have been enrolled in the educational system. 3,774 caregivers received support via business grants and training, including 120 visually impaired persons. In 2025, the ministry handled 633 cases of persistent non-support, affecting 746 children. Through mediation with the parents, the ministry secured $1.6 million Liberian and over 15,000 USD in child support payment. Unresolved cases were referred to the juvenile court. Under the poverty alleviation program referred to as the Realize project, they provided cash transfer totaling $1.17 billion and over 15,000 to poor households in 4 counties. The transfers were given to female household members, and they helped families to invest in agriculture, in education, and businesses. The project also provides beneficiaries with mobile phones, SIM cards, mobile money accounts, national ID, and financial planning support. For women's empowerment, they dispersed $304,000 United States in levelable grants to 3,334 beneficiaries, mainly women in the power counties. Grants support women in saving groups, enterprises, and farming to scale businesses and practice climate smart agriculture. Plans are on the way to mobilize 2,666 more women across 4 additional counties. Institutional gender and social inclusion. They established the Gender and Social Inclusion Unit in government institutions, increasing their number from 9 to 42 between 2024 to 2025. These units aim to promote fairness, human rights, and inclusive policies, and to dismantle systemic barriers. Capacity building exercises were conducted for staff on addressing gender-based issues. The target for 2026 is to create 20 additional gender and social inclusion units. That's for the Ministry of Gender. The Liberia Civil Aviation Authority will today launch its master plan. And the plan provides a comprehensive 20-year strategic roadmap for the sustainable development of the nation's aviation sector, recognizing aviation's vital role in Liberia's economic development, in connectivity, and social progress. The master plan establishes a clear vision, strategic goals, and actionable objectives firmly aligned with the national development priority and standards and recommended practices of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. The 20-year Civil Aviation Master Plan, which will run from 2025 to 2047, is a strategic framework consistent with President Waka's address agenda for inclusive development and Africa Agenda 2026. And it aims to strengthen safety, security, and regulatory compliance, directly addressing the gaps identified in the current state assessment from the ICAO of audits. It will seek to modernize infrastructure at the RIA and key domestic aerodromes, develop local aviation expertise through targeted training programs and strategic partnership. Enhance air connectivity by establishing new routes and revitalizing domestic aviation, contributing to economic growth and regional integration. And will promote environmental sustainability through the adoption of green airport initiatives and the exploration of sustainable aviation fuels, aligning with best practices. The formulation of the Civil Aviation Master Plan represents a pivotal moment in the nation. It is more than a document. It is a solemn commitment to build a resilient, efficient, and sustainable aviation sector that will serve as a cornerstone for Liberia's socio-economic transformation over the next 2 decades. The Master Plan was not conceived in a vacuum, but with a profound sense of urgency and purpose. It directly addresses the critical findings and deficiencies identified through the International Civil Aviation Organization audit processes, including the Universal Safety Oversight Audit and the Universal Security Audit Program. These audits provided a stark objective reflecting systemic challenges in our safety, oversight and regulatory enforcement. The goal is to transition Liberia's civil aviation sector from requiring significant remedial action to one that is a model for safety, security, and efficiency within the West African sub-region. And just to turn to the other branch of government, the Liberia Senate, they voted to abolish the Ministry of Internal Affairs and create a new Ministry of Local Government. And the action aligns with Liberia's decentralization agenda and Local Governance Act of 2018, transferring authority from Monrovia to local administrations across the country. The new Ministry of Local Government will oversee local administration, coordinate development, and strengthen grassroots governance, aiming to reduce delays and improve service delivery while enhancing global decision-making. The Senate also confirmed that all contracts and policies previously executed under the Ministry of Internal Affairs will remain valid to ensure smooth transition. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, one of Liberia's oldest institutions, has served as the government's link to local communities for more than a century. Its dissolution marks the most significant governance restructuring since the passage of the 2018 decentralization law. The reform marks a major restructuring of governance since the 2018 decentralization law and the dissolution of a historic institution. The focus now shifts to implementation phase and whether sufficient resources will be provided to local authorities. The Ministry of Transport today launched its mobile money payment platform and a new automated vehicle registration system. And this initiative, implemented with the Liberia Revenue Authority, aims to digitize transport fee payment, reduce cap use and check, and improve efficiency and transparency. The launch underscores the government's commitment to modernizing transport services through digital solutions. We will end here since we have multiple other speakers. And before I invite the asset recovery man who maybe got some home share from what I don't know, I'd like to recognize the head of the Internal Audit Agency who walked in when I was already speaking. So asset recovery, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Piah.
I will begin by addressing the Minister, Piah, Minister of Information, Deputy Minister Information, the Honorable Councillor Bangalupo, Minister of Youth and Sport, we have IAA, officials of the Ministry of Information, other officials of government here present, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I am so happy to be at this press briefing for this year 2026. On behalf of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, I extend profound gratitude to the Ministry of Information for the invitations extended to Arab to be part and parcel of this all-important national platform. This forum provides an essential avenue for government institutions to update the Ministry of Information, which is the conduit for the dissemination of information, and also update the citizens on progress made in advancing national interests. I also express sincere appreciation to the government and people of Liberia, the media, and our local and international partners for their unwavering support and commitment to fight against corruption, as increasing and the recovery of stolen public assets. While the task force work in 2025 was challenging, significant gains were made in confronting suspicious assets and the accumulation of other suspicious assets that are now under investigation. I will reaffirm its full commitment to its mandate under Executive Order number 105 and maintain steadfastly its independence in operating strictly in adherence with the rule of law and due process. Reflecting on the year 2025, our wishes to inform the Ministry of Information, the government, and the general public of key achievements, particularly in the areas of international engagement, criminal investigation, and indictments. During the period under review, IREF successfully established working relationship with several international institutions based in the United Kingdom. One, the Grant Thornton, which is specialized in investigating international corruption and crimes. Homeland Strategy LPP is a law firm owned by the wife of the former Prime Minister, Jerry Blair, in the UK. FPR Consulting specialized in corruption investigation and assets. And Blake Morgan is a law firm we are working with internationally in the UK to ensure that our legal processes and those that we have in the British High Court are filed in conjunction with IREF. IREF also achieved a major legal milestone at the Supreme Court under the year in review, resulting to the lifting of 9-month stay order that had arisen from the petition filed by Gracious Wright in 2024. Additionally, the task force completed investigation and successfully unsealed 3 major indictments, while maintaining 40 cases under active investigation involving theft of public property and other serious acts of corruption. The cases indicted are. The Saudi rights case, this case involved the mismanagement of rights valued at $500,000 United States donated by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for distribution to disaster victims. 15 former and current officials of government were indicted, and the matter is currently before court. Anita Group of Company Gracious Bride. This indictment involved over 40 individuals accused of money laundering, theft of public property, and criminal conspiracy. Key figures include Madam Finabondo, former chief of protocol, and her daughter, Pamela Anita Jala, chief executive officer of Anita Group of Company, and also an employee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, assigned in Washington, D.C., USA. The indictment establishes that between the period of 2020 and 2023, Anita Group of Company was allegedly used to conceal over $6.7 million United States dollars and $845 million in public funds, Liberian dollars in public funds. 10 cases indicted: MDMC, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs contract case. A case involved an alleged misappropriation of US $851,136 in which Madam Sawyer Duncan is also a defendant. Our respects the independence of the judiciary and the integrity of the legal process. However, given the national importance of corruption-related cases, the task force expresses the hope that the court will call such matter the necessary urgency and priority. Indicted persons not yet arrested and served. Harris is pleased to inform the Ministry of Information, the general public, and the press that consistent with due process, majority of the defendants have been served with indictment and the writ of arrest. However, Pamela Anita Jala, CEO of Anita Group of Companies and an employee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Noah Finabondo, former chief of protocol, remain alive. We are working with our international partners, with the Interpol, to ensure that they are arrested and subjected to our court proceedings. The task force assures the Liberian people that appropriate mechanisms and lawful procedures have been activated for the arrest and subsequent prosecution of all those indicted. Priorities for 2026. Aaron has commented for implementation of the following priorities for 2026. 1. Deepening investigation into 40 cases currently under review. Advancing prosecution of cases already before courts. Working toward concealing of additional indictments on the 40 cases we are now investigating. Expanding nationwide anti-corruption awareness initiative. I will also happy to report and to bring this revelation to the press. The task force MDMC Christmas parcel that was sent to the offices of ARIC. The task force also finds it necessary to address the recent matter of concern. 2 days ago, an indicted company, MDMC, by and through its chief executive officer, Mr. John Ibuti, submitted a Christmas parcel containing brochures of its activities to ARIC. The task force immediately returned the parcel and issued public statement condemning the act as a violation of ethical standards, institutional conduct, and the code of conduct. The parcel returned and the company through a CEO will issue 72-hour ultimatum to explain the intent behind submitting the parcel while under indictment and facing criminal prosecution. I will hereby inform the public, particularly those under investigation or indictment, that the tax code was not established to receive gifts, parcels, pleasantries, and the rest. Any repetition of such conduct will lead to immediate arrest and criminal investigation. I will remain firm in preserving its integrity and independence, and will not allow any act to compromise the administration of justice. Finally, I will extend sincere appreciation to the Liberian people for their continued support, intelligence sharing, and patience in the national fight against the theft of public access. The tax force encourages the public to continue reporting acts of corruption and economic crimes through appropriate channels. I will assure the public and the government that all investigation will remain impartial, evidence-based, and conducted strictly within the confines of the law. There will be no witch hunt. Our investigation will be based on the evidence. Once those evidence are substantial, you will be held culpable and processed for good action. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is J. Cole Bangalo, Councillor, Minister of Youth and Sports, Republic of Liberia. I bring you greetings from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, especially having gotten confirmation that nearly 75% of you journalists in here are below the age 35 and are therefore in the youth vote category. The Ministry of Youth and Sports have intensified its youth development interventions nationwide, consistent with the government's agenda for inclusive development. In the area of youth development and empowerment and security, the ministry has successfully recruited and deployed 230 cadets across 5 counties to include Montserrado, Bomi, Baporo, River G, providing structured engagement, discipline, and livelihood pathway for young people. To support vulnerable youth and promote inclusive economic participation, the Ministry of Youth and Sports has rolled out small-scale grants to needy Liberians, enabling them to start or expand micro businesses and improve household incomes. This program will benefit 350 Liberians, especially youths, in Bon, Lofa, Magibi, Nimba, Grand Bassa, Grand Jide, and Montserrado counties. In education, the Ministry of Youth and Sports has entered into a strategic partnership with the West African Examinations Council, where discussions are being concluded to provide targeted tutorial programs for students particularly those preparing for public examinations. This program will benefit 20,000 students from Lofa, Riverset, Grand Crew, Sino, River G, and Magibi counties. Additionally, literacy and numeracy programs have been instituted for out-of-school and at-risk youth in 3 counties, to include Bapolu, Bong, and Nimba County, aimed at improving foundational learning and employability. 4,000 youths are benefiting from this program. In technical and vocational education and training, TVET, the ministry has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Terra Agri for the assembly of tractors at the Tumutu Vocational Training Center in Sarala, Bong County, which will strengthen hands-on mechanical and agricultural engineering skills. Another partnership has been concluded with the Ministry of Agriculture for the cultivation of 500 acres of farmland at the Youth Agricultural Training Center in Bensonville and the Tumutu Agricultural Vocational Training Center in Sarala, Bong County, with a focus on large-scale cassava production for food security and agro-processing. Furthermore, in partnership with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, the ministry has received modern state-of-the-art cosmetology equipment and is being commissioned at the Business Development and Occupational Training Center at the SKD Sports Complex, where we run the vocational school for hospitality management, cosmetology, and it is going to ensure the opening of a modern beauty salon at the school campus. This, when finalized, will expand skills training and job creation in beauty and wellness industry. These initiatives reaffirm the ministry's commitment to equipping Liberian youth with education, skills, and economic opportunities for national development. Sports. We would like to thank members of the press and Liberians in general for their support to the 2025-26 edition of the National County Sports Meet. For the first time, the 4 counties that have qualified for the semi-final in the kickball category are the same counties that have qualified for the semi-final in the football category. The quarterfinals are over. The semi-finals will commence or will be held on tomorrow, Wednesday, at the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex. In kickball, Magibi County will face Brentwood County in Game 1, and Game 2 will see Grand Kidman County going against Nimba County. While in football, Game 1 will see Nimba County going against Magibi County in Game 1, and Game 2 will see Brentwood County going against Grand Kidman County. Like I said, they will all be held on tomorrow, Wednesday, January 14th, at the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex. The third place and the grand finals in both categories will be played on Sunday, January 18, 2026. His Excellency the President has released his message before the National Council meet, where he has stressed fair play has been the hallmark of the tournament. We like to congratulate His Excellency for his powerful message. He also highlighted the issue of drug abuse, drugs and substance abuse, where he reminded the young people that drugs and substance abuse should be nowhere found among Nigerian youth. This year county meet witnessed the full exercise of the legal rights of the county compared to any other meeting. As a lawyer, I embrace this development as the hallmark of the county meet must always be fair play. There are a lot of people who were against counties filing protests. We want to say that the rule provides for filing of protests that will be forwarded to a grievance and protest committee, and when a party is dissatisfied, it is taken to the Board of Appeal, where final judgment will be rendered. Lately, Refugee filed a protest against Grand Cape County. The Protest and Grievance Committee reviewed the protest and ruled in favor of Grand Cape County. Refugee took advantage of the statute and took an appeal to the Board of Appeal. Yesterday, the Board of Appeal rendered its opinion, confirming and affirming the judgment of the Grievance and Protest Committee. That lays that matter to rest. 2 days ago, received a complaint from Grand Bassa that the game between Grand Crew and Maggie was manipulated. Mag manipulation globally is a serious offense. The Ministry of Youth and Sports takes such complaint very seriously, like we have done with all protest cases. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has accordingly instructed the Liberia Football Association to investigate the complaint. This investigation, considering the constitutional right of the parties to due process, will not be conducted hastily. Therefore, we have no bearing on the semi-final match or matches on tomorrow, as well as the grand final on Sunday. However, as is done globally, when the results are out in the future by the recognized body of the Liberia Football Association, any coach, any player, or anybody who will be found culpable will be dealt with in conformity with the law. We would like to thank all of you for your support to the National County Sports Meet. See you tomorrow at the SPD Sports Complex for the semi-final matches, and eventually see you on Sunday for the grand finale. Thank you so much.
So that was the voice of
Good afternoon. My name is David Kima, and I'm the Director General of the Internal Agency. Mr. Piah, and Mr. Cole, Councilor Martin, Deputy Minister Budget, members of the press, and other officials of the Ministry of Information. I'd like to thank you for Mr. Piah for the opportunity to appear here and speak to some of the things that the Internal Audit Agency has been doing in the last year and what are some of our plans for 2026. As of December 31st, 2025, the Internal Audit Agency increased the number of staff deployment to ministry and agency from 83 in January of 2024 to 93 in December 31st, 2025. These deployments of staff contribute to ensuring compliance in public sector institutions. They help reinforce our laws, and they help provide support to institutions in meeting their statutory responsibilities. Some of our recent deployments include the Liberian Telecommunication Authority, the National Oil Company, Local Ministry of State, the University of Liberia, of course the asset recovery team. Before then, there were some challenges in getting the support of heads of institution to allow IA staff deploy. We are grateful to those entities that embrace the work of the internal auditors, and we want to continue to encourage heads of institution that the role of IA is to provide support. We are not police officers in your ministries and agencies. We are there to help make recommendations for compliance, to ensure that your internal controls are working and your risk mitigation strategies are effective. We will continue to work with these entities in the coming year. We'd also like to announce that IA completed a strategic development plan for 2025 to 2029. This plan was developed by IA staff at no additional cost for government. We hope that as we align this plan, it will support the government development agenda, even as we prepare to strengthen the decentralization process. Currently, there are internal auditors under IA supervision in 6 of the 15 counties. The plan now is that with the decentralization process ongoing, we will be able to deploy auditors to the remaining 9 counties. We also have an ongoing risk assessment that are happening at ministries and agencies. So what we do on a periodic basis, we conduct risk assessment due to changes that happen in ministries and agencies, and as a result of those assessments, we come up with work plans, audit plans that we can work to support the work of those entities. We do have an ongoing presentation as well, informing ministries and agencies about their responsibilities and IA's own responsibilities as it relates to internal controls in the public sector. Part of IA's job is to do special audits. These are real-time audits of situations that have been assessed to be high risk. We have conducted and issued audit reports for the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LIBTECO, LMHRA, Local, and the NPA ATM terminal concession audit is ongoing. As a result of these audits, issues that come to our attention, we come up with recommendations that we can help to correct whatever deficiencies we find in the entity's internal control processes. We also made recommendations for changes in ways certain things are being done. In 2026, we intend to issue a compliance checklist. That checklist will help to inform heads of institutions and financial managers as to what IA expects of them. Too often, when transactions are sent to the internal auditors and they raise queries about them, it turns out to be shocking to some of the heads of the institution. So now we want to give a checklist, and that checklist will detail the different internal audit requirements that we expect to be met in order for transactions to be compliant. We hope that this will help to inform decisions that have been made as we go along, and will help to continue to strengthen transparency and internal control in the public sector. IA has an ongoing robust training programs that we are training internal auditors to become satisfied. Currently, we have about 20 staff enrolled in the program. Quite recently, one of the staff completed the exams and is now satisfied as an internal auditor. We hope that as the year goes on, we will have more staff qualified to become satisfied internal auditors, and this will help to improve the work we do. It will lend credibility to the decisions we make, and it will further strengthen our own internal capacity so that we can respond to changing needs in the public sector. We hope to continue our work. Like I said, in special audits, we intend to do more special audits depending on risks we assess during the course of our work, and that we look forward to the continuous cooperations from heads of institutions. Too often, our work is misinterpreted or misunderstood. The auditors take decisions or query transactions. It's been seen as an affront to authority. We are now working as much as possible to provide more information so that this misunderstanding can be minimized as much as possible in the work we do. Again, I say thank you, Mr. Piah, and members of the press for the afternoon, and we look forward to answering questions if there be any.
If there's questions, please come and take one question.
So, let's take it first before you start. That 30 more minutes for the press conference. We have a chance to start with just one question. So you choose all the people who spoke who you want to ask that question. You can't ask more than one question. So just decide who you want to ask before you want. The other people that you may have questions with, you can follow them after the press conference. You can talk about that.
Thank you. My name is Dara Skanda in the book of Piah. My question would to answer the call. So, the public want to know, and I want to know as well, how does the task force cooperate with security agencies to show their safety? Thank you.
Because of the task force.
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Desmond and I represent Democracy Watch newspaper. Thanks for coming to our guests. My concern is directed to the task force. Thanks, Councillor Martin, for that presentation. In your presentation, you said you have contacted Interpol to arrest those alleged, corrupt individuals, specifically the Bishop Ground, which is an entire portion. So I'm concerned to ask as to what point in time during the indictment has there been no full compliance from these indictees that have resulted to your decision to have them arrested? And just to follow up with that, you also mentioned months ago the 2026 national budget. The task force wasn't captured. Is the task force captured at the moment? And what specific figure is being captured in that budget for the task force operation? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mano Opogu and I report for TrueLiberia. So my question goes to Mr. Piah. Mr. Piah, the issue of the bread and water issue, Nigerians, yes, I always believe in that. But yesterday, one of the figures from the CDC was on one of the radio stations. He alleged that this government has increased prices of all commodities about 14%. That shows that they have already won the bread and water issues within the country just within the 2 years of this rescue government. How we are not hearing you say anything about it. Is it true? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Jackson Alisefa and I represent TV Inside News. My first question goes to the government's spokesperson, Mr. Piah. We've seen the pavement of roads across most of it, especially District 13. But what we saw there is quite different from the immediate past government. In those communities, we saw the road paved, about most of the structures, dwelling places or business areas not being affected. But when you look at the road from New Jersey Junction, going as far inside, most of the houses have been destroyed. We should clear most of the business areas around there. So, is it not, wasn't it good so far that most of those structures live in the place and do it the same way they did with the community? And the next question goes to the asset recovery.
Good afternoon, my name is David and I report for TrueLiberia. My question goes to Mr. Piah. Mr. Piah, you spoke about the yellow machine that will be arriving into the country within a period of 70 days. I want to know, Liberians want to know, with this machine arriving into the country, how prepared is your government to safeguard the spare part of this machine? Because we don't want a situation where the machine will arrive and the spare part will be sold out. So how prepared is the government?
Quiet, please.
Thank you. Any questions?
Good afternoon. John Sherry. I work for PowerGen from Rubia Online Radio, Atlanta, Georgia, Charles. My question goes to the councillor. How can you convince us that you deserve more cash to carry out your taxes? And if so, how much do you need for fiscal year 2026? What's the matter?
Sherry, Councillor said he didn't understand your question. So just be free to just be clear so you can get it.
How can you convince us that you do need money or your institution needs more money to carry out your tasks? And if so, what's the amount you need for 2026? Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming. What is Nigeria and TrueLiberia? My question goes to the internal public agency. How many ministries, agencies, and commissions are audited in the past fiscal year, and what is the output?
Thank you so much. My name is Moses K. I'm the my question goes to Minister Previous Board and Mr. Bangawi, you did elaborate on the issue about grandpas of filing a protest against the game between Malawi and America. And if my memory getting set, you did disclose that the protest that grandpas of far will be hold after the marches. So are you taking into consideration that it will not be a transparent or fair to grandpas or if the protest that will far not being judged before the marches? Thank you.
So my name is Joseph Service in arrest for the newspaper. My question goes to Councilor Martin. I believe that in this access Joseph Service arrest for the newspaper. No. So my question goes to Councilor Martin. In this asset recovery, I believe that there is a window for restitution and also retribution that is to the asset. I want to know, since you took over, who are some of those complainants that have come maybe behind you, close to the same Councilor Martin? I want to give the money back going through a judicial process. And people that there was this situation with, in the past, it was reported that Councilor Kanyo Barbara, and actually, my first question, we're talking about restitution. So that's all. The people that,
Next question.
My name is Vincent Sadi, I report of Global Online TV. My question goes to Councilor Minister of U.S. School. For the past time, we've been seeing the absence of the Labourers and the Physical Revolution participating in the National Council Sports Plan. It is that the Labour and the Physical Revolution is not recognized by the Ministry of U.S. School.
My name is Arina Epupugi and I report from Days FM. My intention of being drawn to the yellow machine expected to arrive in the country anytime soon. My question is this: are there any plans for maintenance or project to keep the machine functional to benefit the public? Because we found out that whenever the government purchase fees in terms of maintenance, and then they will start to see they are going on the project in order for them to keep those materials functional. To follow up to that.
One question. Quiet, please, everyone.
Thank you. My name is Lisa. I report for Stati. My question goes to Honorable Kina. The question is, how prepared are you concerning the 2026 auditing Bureau agency in that ministry? Okay, thanks. My name is Pato Minister. I report from the Homeland TV. My question goes directly to the Minister of Youth Sports. We will talk about River G filing complaint against County. You can now tell us in detail about the complaint and how it was investigated. Thanks.
Thank you. Those were all the questions.
When we come to the first conference to talk about the labor issues, and for those of you who take interest in trash and garbages and put almost I don't know here. If your only interest is to follow somebody who took 27 million Liberians or property used to the population just over 5 million, and you got to follow that person for you to tell that person. If you want me to be discussing somebody who is internationally sanctioned, then this is not a place. Yes, they want a bread and butter issue. That's why they were not kicked out of office. That's why they elected them. So how is it important for some talking tone to just be hearing all over the place that why you take interest in then you get them prepared? Agree with him, follow him. We didn't get debate time for that kind of thing. They want a bread and butter issue. That's why they stay in power. I want to tell you what is happening. The yellow machines are coming, the roads are being built, electricity is expanding. That's why it's important to us. Not a loser who just running all over the place, getting the paper bread, and you want us to be wasting our time. So you hear from me. So every time somebody goes to my name, I have to respond to it. You know my work? Well, that's a problem too. Some of you. What they are making us say, Piah, not prosecuting people, but they're doing criminals. That man is indicted for stealing over 13 million through the Financial Intelligence Agency. Like, what is your concern about when they tell you to lift them up? You should be demanding for people to be accountable for the crimes they committed. Toya is allegedly a criminal until he vindicates himself and shut his mouth. I hope that answers your question. When you're building roads, the decisions you take is not a choice. I live Broadway. We're expanding that road into full lane. So many structures that were here right away, they have been removed. What do you want? Structures blocking the road, or a brand new full lane road that travels to people having freedom? They didn't pave that road yet. But because they've opened the corridor, no more traffic into that is notorious for traffic. Just take time and drive there and see it, don't just talk. So it's not by choice, you decide, oh, when they're making them for that, or when we're moving they want. And the same people making love of bread, but who you want to be measured by. You say, other people are building the road, they move building. So we'll do the same thing, right? You just talk in the past, you can change. The machines I explained to you yesterday, you're not listening. The maintenance plan brings into the country technicians who will be here for 2 years. Not 1 year, not 6 months, 2 years. While they are here, they will be servicing the machine, but they will be training the individuals who will take over from them. Maybe something I said the other day, somewhere which I didn't say here. It is being proposed by the committee that those who will be responsible for the safety of the machines will be members of the engineering battalion of the armed forces of Liberia. Go see the machine there, you see what you want to see. Nice. All right. Yeah, so let me ask Councilor Martin a quick question so you can answer there before the ABC gets off. Thank you. The first question has to do with safety. We want to say in this public manner that we appreciate the fact that the government of Liberia has provided us safety. And all our investigations that we are conducting, we are under the protection of the Liberian National Police and other security apparatus that we not need. But I can show you that we are well protected. We want to express our profound gratitude to the government for the security protection it's giving us. Fighting corruption is not easy. And going after big guns, former big guns is not also easy. But we are grateful for the level of security that we have received from the government. We have contacted Interpol as the fellow acts, and for technical and for security reasons, we will not give you the feedback from the Interpol. There are so many questions that will be directed at large. We are also working with the Liberian National Police and our internal security. And given our expertise and our contact with the British government,
We are doing everything possible internationally to make sure that those that are being indicted and those that are under investigation will be given appropriate location for us to have some contact and control over how we can have them arrested. We want to appreciate the fact that we're capturing this year's budget in the amount of $2 billion. We want to express our profound gratitude to the Ministry of Finance for that allotment. I think for now, someone asked the question, how can you convince us that you need more money for your institution? Sure. We want to appreciate the fact that the initial amount that has been allotted to us, I think we can work with that amount and to ensure that the Nigerian people work is done appropriately. So what are those institutions? Someone, Mr. Cherry, your last question, please.
I was what you just answered. How can you convince us that you need more money to carry on your responsibilities, and what is the amount in the budget for 2026?
No, thank you. I think I've answered that question.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Also, my asked for restitution. Oh, well, we have conducted 3 major investigations, and no one has offered to make restitution. And we will have 40 and additional cases, maybe in the interim while the cases are people will voluntarily come up with restitution. But up to present, no one has voluntarily come up to make requests or to ask for restitution of the indictment for which they were indicted. So there are more cases coming up. Maybe in the future somebody might come up with an answer. To answer the question. Thank you.
I took note of 3 questions. Part of protests, according to you. And yet the council meeting is proceeding. Point of correction, Basa did not file a protest, he filed a complaint. So there's a difference between a protest and a complaint. The protest is filed with the intention of changing the results. And there's a time frame for everything. A complaint is filed sometimes even days after to see if the system can be corrected. So there was a complaint, and that complaint has been forwarded to the Liberia Football Association. And like we said, it's not going to be a hasty thing. They will thoroughly investigate and come up with the finding. Basa wants us to correct the system. The Liberia Athletics Federation left out of the county meet. Since I took over, one of the most supported federations by the government is the Liberia Athletic Federation. I think you've been following the All African Games, the World Olympic Games, where you see our athletes from America, Joe Fumble and others. Every time they go to represent Liberia, they are fully 100% supported by the government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So we cannot discriminate against them. There are 34 federations. So please, I don't want you to even just talk about athletics. The taekwondo want to be a part. The swimming federation say they put some pool at the stadium and do competition. The handball federation, the amputee federation, the deaf and dumb federation, women in football. I mean, all of these federations want to be a part. What we have decided is to see how we can organize different competitions annually so that they can incorporate all of the 34 federations or most of the 34 federations. The last one is a question that has to do with refugee filed a protest against Kidman. He wanted the details. Well, it was a protest that fell under player eligibility. So River G had contended that Grand Man goalkeeper received a matching order, thus he was disqualified. But the organizing committee had, like in previous years, cancelled all of the yellow red cards in the preliminary round, so that the quarterfinal, semi-final, and final will begin afresh. That's what happens, have been happening in previous competitions. And so the grievance committee didn't see the merit in that, and it was subsequently affirmed by the appeal board. Thank you.
I had two questions, one from Otis and I think the other one from Reset. We just wanted to know how many audits we want to do this year. With the Internal Audit Agency, we do continuous audits. That means our staff are deployed at ministries and agencies, and they do continuous compliance audits during the course of the year. Now,
what you have already done? How many ministries are?
Oh, okay. So we have auditors deployed in 93 public entities out of a total of 149 per the national budget. And what would be, for instance, the office of the vice president we consider as an entity. Ordinarily, it would be under the executive. So our own count for our purpose and our work plans, we say out of 149 entities, and we are deployed in 93. Now the auditors assigned in those entities do annual risk assessment, and then based upon that, they will determine which areas of the ministry or agency to conduct audits. So unless we get those numbers, I can't say them now. Now, if you're talking about prior year, we did about 56 of those audits by team within the ministry, and those reports goes directly to the head of the institution along with our recommendations. How prepared are we, said, to do audits? Well, we continue to do our own internal development, do training for our staff, so that they be able to be up to date with new trends in the profession. As things go along, 5-10 years ago, auditors had to sit down and take a bank statement and do a lot of reconciliation. Now we migrated to digital payments, right? So people's salary go directly to their bank accounts. When I was at Ministry of Finance 20 years ago, we had a whole team that would take the whole bag of checks from the banks to sit and audit them. Now that has changed. So our preparation, we do continuous training, what we call continuous professional development, so that our auditors can be up to date with new trend in the profession. So that's how we prepare. On the financial side, we rely on the national budget. So far, we have been supported by the government. It's helping our work. We hope that that trend will continue so we can get better at what we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Many thanks to all of you for your time, your attention to this press conference, with all of the questions being appropriately addressed. We now want to call this press conference to a close and to again invite the general public to join us on Thursday for another edition of the press briefing. We look forward to seeing all of you, and many thanks for coming. Thank you very much.
So that ends our press briefing here at information. So the Ministry of Research and Technical Service Division. So the MOI press briefing was addressed by Honorable Minister of Information General of the Internal Audit Agency and Councilor Edward Martin here assess coverage on property retreat task force. So one of the addressed key issues provided updates on initiatives and also outline policy directions initiatives that the ministry is currently implementing by Councilor Martin with the first on operations of Secretary Task Force present a detailed report on Task Force mandate, activities and accomplishment since its establishment, bringing the public up to date on its progress. While last year's economic command presented an update on operations of the Internal Audit Agency, across government administrative agency, in brief and highlight initiatives and progress are currently being implemented to strengthen the capacity and operational skills of internal audit. So once again, for those who have been following our website, thanks for following this live broadcast. Until then, do join us Thursday for another edition of MOI Press Briefing.